Welcome to the American Space here at the station. Today's podcast is held in collaboration with Radio 1. My name is Mohammed Darar, and today I am honored to have a very distinguished guest, Assistant Secretary Geoffrey R. Pyatt. Assistant Secretary Pyatt, we are honored to have you here. Mr. Pyatt brings a wealth of experience as he served as U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine from 2013 to 2016, and then U.S. Ambassador to Greece from 2016 and then until 2022.
Right.
Welcome to Iraq and welcome
thank
to our
you.
show.
No, well, thank you. Really happy to be here. Happy to have this conversation.
Thank you. Well, my first question would be, why are you visiting Iraq right now, and what do you hope to accomplish here?
So I'm here to follow up Prime Minister Soudani's very successful visit to the United States. I think if you look back at the joint statement that your Prime Minister and President Biden issued exactly a month ago today on April 15th, you will see a very powerful vision there of our cooperation on issues around energy and climate, our strong support for Prime Minister Soudani's vision of helping Iraq to achieve full energy independence, no energy imports, including from Iran by 2030, closer relations with trusted neighbors and partners like Jordan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, the GCC countries, and more progress to build Iraq's tremendous capacity for clean renewable power over the long term. So my job is to translate those words into action and to build on the very positive environment that your Prime Minister's visit to the United States created.
That is fascinating. I believe you are visiting Erbil as well.
Yes.
What is your goal or ambition from your visit there?
So my visit to Erbil is an important part of our overall agenda here. Most importantly, to demonstrate America's support for the vision of a prosperous and economically successful KRG within the context of federal Iraq. The IKR region has tremendous potential for energy. It has some of the American companies that are invested in upstream oil production, also companies with tremendous gas resources. We want to see that those resources are fully developed in a way that benefits the people of the KRG region, but also to explore opportunities to do more to leverage those resources in order to reinforce Iraq's energy security and your energy autonomy.
That's great. I believe several U.S. companies are currently working in Iraq, like Honeywell, Baker Hughes, maybe also General Electric, GE. These companies have multiple success stories in Iraq. Can you tell us a bit about their work?
So I have found tremendous interest from American energy companies, energy service providers in this visit. All of the companies you've named have reached out to me. I was very impressed when Prime Minister Soudani was in the United States. I joined Ambassador Romanowski and your Prime Minister, Energy Minister Hayan, and many others for a meeting hosted by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, where something like 17 different MOUs were signed with different American energy companies, including, as you mentioned, companies like GE and Honeywell. American energy companies lead the world, especially in the areas that your Prime Minister is focused on, like how to better capture the gases that are associated with your oil production, which are currently wasted, flared into the environment with bad impacts on Iraqi citizens, but also representing a huge loss of economic value.
That's true.
So these are areas where American companies lead the world. They are already doing literally billions of dollars of business here in Iraq, but they are committed to doing even more in the future and being the strongest possible partners for the citizens of Iraq, continuing to invest in Iraq's human resources, to develop local teams that have the technological skills that can contribute to Iraq's energy prosperity, and importantly, your self-sufficiency.
Hopefully. So can Iraq, or how can Iraq transition from its reliance on hydrocarbon fuels to more sustainable sources of energy or cleaner sources of energy?
No, well, thank you for raising this issue. And it's one that goes to the heart of my job, which is the work that the Biden administration is doing around the world to help accelerate the energy transition. We are going through this same transition in the United States. You're seeing massive new investments in wind, in solar, in geothermal, but also in all of the supporting infrastructure that this clean energy system requires. More grid capacity, more battery storage, more smart grids to manage our energy resources more efficiently. Those are exactly the same tools that American companies are eager to bring here to Iraq. You have incredible potential, of course, for wind and solar especially. You haven't even begun to develop those resources. We would love to be Iraq's partner of choice as you continue this journey, which is exactly the same transition that every one of your neighbors is working through. I was in Amman, Jordan yesterday, met with the energy minister there. Jordan is getting 27% of its power now from renewable sources. I was in Riyadh a few months ago, and the largest oil producer in OPEC. Yeah. And I was so interested to hear the energy minister, Abdullah bin Saud, talking about the huge commitment that his government has made to investing in more renewable capacity, more capturing of CO2 gases, and the transition to cleaner fuels, moving away from dirty fuels like heavy fuel oil to use gas, which Iraq also has in abundance as a source of power. So I'm very excited about this aspect of our agenda. My counterpart, when the Prime Minister was in Washington for the committee of the HCC, the Higher Coordination Committee between our two governments, was the Prime Minister's advisor, Pyatt. And we met today to follow up in a concrete way on the discussions with the Prime Minister. And I was fascinated to hear him and his team talking about a city in central Iraq that has gone to 100% renewable power, and how satisfied citizens are with the reliability and the cost of those energy options. This is an area where Iraq has the potential to be a world leader. There's a lot of investment that has to happen, a lot of modernization that has to happen. But you only have to look at our experience in the United States to see how fast the technologies are changing in this area, but also to see the absolutely world-leading role that American companies are playing in this transition. And a lot of places that I travel to around the world, I have governments that say to me, I want to have more American investment. And then I have to come back to the United States and convince the companies that they should take a look. That's not the case in Iraq. You already have these companies here. They're doing huge amounts of business. And it's just a matter of building on the momentum and the signal that was sent when the Prime Minister was in Washington, when he traveled to Houston, the energy capital of the world. And part of my message in this visit today was to underline to the government and to listeners like yours that the Biden administration is completely committed to building on that effort, and that we are prepared, as I said, to translate words into action and to continue to build these partnerships and hopefully to be Iraq's partner of choice as you look to build energy self-sufficiency into the future.
Well, hopefully we can see these changes within the upcoming years.
Right. It's completely doable. And again, you only have to look at the changes that the United States has experienced or the changes that your neighbors are experiencing to see how feasible it is.
Assistant Secretary Pyatt, thank you so much for your time today. We are honored to have you here, and we're very happy to have you on our show and visiting Iraq as well.
Great. Thank you so much for the conversation, and thank you for the really warm welcome.
Thank you.